environmental engineering from VJTI Mumbai and thereafter obtained a doctoral degree from IIT Bombay. It is really very impressive that right from middle school and throughout his education, Milind was a recipient of national merit scholarships.
Wow.
He has worn many hats: academic research scholar, writer, and editor. He has been consultant to diverse establishments such as Godrej, Indian Oil, Government of Maharashtra, and at Georgia University uh, in the United States. He has been professor as well as director of a few engineering institutes. And now he is an entrepreneur in providing eco solutions in solid and liquid waste management. And last but not the least, he is a very committed Rotarian, which I am sure he will continue to be for several years to come.
That's
I
a
hope
good
that's a
one, Meera.
promise,
I
Milind.
like that.
Yes, yeah. He is widely published in national and international journals of repute, as well as in national dailies like the Times of India. And now he has also authored an e-book on solid waste management. He has lectured widely in India and abroad. And hold your breath, friends, when you hear where. At Harvard, Berkeley, Purdue, Manchester, Berlin, United Arab Emirates, Argentina, and Australia, to name a few. Milind, are you 200 years old or what? How much? at, at the Rotary Club of Mumbai Green City, from the time he joined, he has actively participated in what is a primary focus of our club, which is solid waste management. He has spoken at seminars organized by us. He has widely distributed cloth bags to discourage the use of plastic bags, and he has addressed a number of school children on waste segregation. As president, he has initiated a global grant project, which is the building of toilets for boys and girls in a tribal school called Ashram Shala at Kaman district. The project is on in full swing. During the lockdown of 2020, he put his own safety at risk and personally distributed food packets to the needy in areas highlighted by the municipality. He has very deservedly won awards, the title Margadarshak bestowed by AICTE, and a special recognition by the government of Maharashtra. Ladies and gentlemen, I proudly present to you our club president and speaker of the evening, Dr. Milind Kulkarni.
Mira, thank you very much. It was so excellent that I have become emotional and numb whether to start the lecture, and you have refined it to so nicely that many of the features even I also forgot. So thanks a lot for your skills and friends. I know now you are very much eager to listen about the solid waste management in residential complexes. And now I will just share my screen. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Loud and clear.
please
Yes.
unmute. Please mute everybody first.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You mean mute everybody?
Mute everybody else.
No. Okay, friends. Can you see the PowerPoint presentation?
No, Milind, can't see.
Can't see?
No.
Okay. Okay, 1 minute.
Have you started the share?
Yeah. Now,
Okay, now it's there.
Yes,
Now it's
yes,
there.
yes.
okay, okay, friends. So, the topic is solid waste management in residential complexes. And, when the solid waste management rules 2016 came into picture in Mumbai, that is Mumbai, the urban local body is Municipal Corporation of Greater Mumbai, MCGM. That is the actual short form, but we popularly call it as BMC. Okay. So BMC
Mumbai.
has made it mandatory from 2017 October, to segregate the solid waste generated in each society into three categories like dry, wet, and domestic hazardous. And bulk generators, that is those societies which generate more than 100 kilograms of waste per day, they have to compost the wet waste generated within their premises as per the law. So from bulk generators, BMC will not take any wet waste which is generated. So that new rules came into picture from October 2017. And then BMC has conducted big exhibitions at Waradi and other places. I think Lata and Parvez and other people, they have visited the stalls at Waradi. So that time onwards it has started and big awareness camp was launched. So many housing societies are have already started doing this, but many are still in the beginning stage. So in this presentation, we will guide those societies which are still, want more information, how to do this, segregation, composting of wet waste, recycling of dry waste. And BMC has also started giving rebate in property tax for those societies who are doing recycling of dry waste, composting of wet waste, and wastewater treatment. So we will see that also. So the first step, anyone should do is the awareness program. So like, before 2018, there were some housing societies, they were doing it on voluntary basis. Like there is one Vijaynagar Housing Society in Andheri East. So they are doing this composting of wet waste for a long time. So in our housing society, we, took their advice and how they have achieved, like success story is there, we get motivation. So that should be the first step any housing society should do. Then you get confidence. Then next, you should do proper awareness about the segregation guidelines. So which will come as wet waste, like the wet waste which is generated in kitchen, all food waste, flowers, etc., which is biodegradable. Then all plastic, metal, paper, etc. will come as dry waste. And the national color code is like this. For wet waste, it is green color dustbin, and dry waste, it is blue color dustbin. Then there is another third dustbin of red color in which domestic hazardous waste like sanitary napkins, diapers, broken glasses, blades, etc. should be dumped. And you should wrap it in a white newspaper and mark a red cross. And this waste is taken by BMC and incinerated. Nowadays, one new domestic hazardous waste is added. Do you know which is that? Because of COVID, yeah, all these masks, other things, tissue paper of COVID patients, that is also hazardous waste. So these people should be totally, made aware. Their mates, everybody in the household, they should have clear picture what is dry, what is wet, and what is domestic hazardous waste. Then every household should be at least distributed with 2 dustbins, one of blue color for dry waste, another for green color for wet waste. Then at the housing society level, you should have big dustbins. This is a particular society where they have achieved it. So suppose you have 3 wings, then here you can see there are 3 pairs. So each wing, when the housekeeping staff will go, they will go with one big blue color dustbin and one big green color dustbin to segregate the wet and dry waste. So if there is some, here and there, some mixture is there in wet waste, some plastic is there, then the housekeeping staff should separate and put the dry waste in the proper blue color dustbin. So like that, the waste should come at the composting site in the segregated form. Apart from this, you can see here separate cans are there for garden waste. Garden waste for big societies is a big problem. So that should be separately collected by gardeners. And for further recycling of dry waste, you can see there are different another big dustbins. Like this dustbin is for glass, this dustbin is for domestic hazardous waste, Tetra Pak, paper, plastic, PET bottles, etc., etc. So like that, housing society should purchase these big dustbins for proper segregation. Then awareness camp you are organized, but that is not enough. As you know, when you have AGM of your housing society, how many people come? Just maybe 20-30% people come. So you have to do house to house visits to guide the people about the segregation. Then next, there is a complaint that, we keep the solid waste outside our flat in a segregated form. But when the housekeeping staff comes, they again mix it. So you have to ensure that the housekeeping staff should also come with 2 big dustbins like you have seen here. So here it is separate and the housekeeping staff should also collect it separately. Sometimes they demand higher compensation because their labor has increased. So the housing society should be, liberal to increase their compensation slightly. Now, after the wet waste is segregated, how you can compost it? What are the various technologies that we have to see? So the various technologies are like this: composting pits, composting cages, composting drums, composting tumblers, OWC, that is organic waste converter machines, and there are other technologies like waste to energy biomethanation plant, which is normally used for big level like cities and towns. So we will not discuss about waste to energy. And there is another, some companies are coming with 24-hour machine, but as you know, we can't convert wet waste into compost within 24 hours. So I'm not going to discuss about this. So these are the various technologies which are available for converting your wet waste into compost within the premises. So let us discuss the first technology, that is composting pits. So you can see such 2 pits are there. The size of each pit is around 6 feet by 4 feet and the depth is 2 feet. So the depth is required to be kept minimum only 2 feet, not higher than that, because otherwise the anaerobic conditions will develop. That is, the oxygen in the air will not reach to the bottom, and if the anaerobic conditions are developed, foul smells will get generated and there will be complaints from the nearby residents. So that should be very scrupulously followed. And even there are holes in these bricks of these pits through which air will go inside, and because of that the conditions are maintained as aerobic. So this is the simple low cost technology by which this one pit will take 1 month to fill. Then you start filling the another one, that will take another 1 month. So at the end of 2 months, these contents of the first composting pit will be converted into good manure, and you can remove that and you can use that as a compost. Of course, it is not as simple as you feel. You have to take a lot of care while doing the various operations. For example, the wet waste, you have to mix with sawdust, you have to mix it with bioculture. Then after every 3-4 days, you have to turn the contents, and then only the aerobic conditions will be maintained, and there will be no problem of foul smells. There will be no complaints from the neighbors. So all these precautions you have to take. So these composting pits, what are the advantages? It is low cost. It will not require any mechanical equipment. Electricity is not required. It generates good quality manure. It is the pits are durable, and you need some operator help. So You can employ waste pickers, or there are NGOs like Stree Mukti Sangatna. So you can employ those people which will contribute to the sustainability. Disadvantages is that it requires slightly more area. It is slightly more laborious. And the typical size is 2 units are required, and the size of each unit is 6 feet long, 4 feet wide, and 2 feet deep. So such 2 units are suitable for a society of 80 flats or 80 families. So that is a rough thumb rule of design of composting pits. Then the second technology is the composting cages. So you can see these cages installed in one housing society. There are vehicles parked nearby. There is a shredder also. So they go hand in hand. So what are the advantages and disadvantages of composting cages? The advantages are that they are low cost. Again, they don't require any mechanical equipment, electricity. They generate manure. And one of the advantage over the composting pits is that more openings are there as it is cage. So a lot of air can come inside as compared to the composting pits. And hence it is more aerobic and more efficient than composting pits. And wheels are attached, so it is portable. Suppose tomorrow you want to change the location of your composting project, it is possible because these cages are portable. Faster fabrication, they are constructed very fast. In case of composting pits, you require one mason, one contractor, you have to bring sand, cement. Then for the jalis, you have to contract to the fabricator. In this case, you have to just contact one fabricator and get it done. So the fabrication is faster. Employment generation, of course, you have to keep one operator. Disadvantages is that it requires slightly more area than the machines. Labor is required. Less life compared to composting pits. The iron is corrosive. So compared to composting pits, its life is slightly lesser. But the advantage is that the composting process itself is more efficient. And if you use galvanized iron, it will still last longer. And the
Can
size
you show close up of the cage?
Huh?
Can you show close up of the cage?
Yeah.
Because that looked like a
This is the cage, no?
like bin only. It looked like from far.
No, this is a cage of 5 feet long. There are 3 compartments. The
Can you
height
bring
is.
it a little forward to show it, a bigger picture of it, enlarge it,
I will try.
and make out what it is like.
So this is a tree, and this is one cage. Okay, you can see the cursor.
Go into presentation. Click on the cup below. There is a cup sign below.
Yeah. So
Click
okay, I'll send
on
you
the
better
cup
separately.
into presentation mode. No, Milind.
Presentation
Okay,
mode.
carry on,
Click
carry on, Milind, carry on.
Okay, so that is about the composting cages. The size is 5 feet by 3 feet by 3 feet, and for 80 families, you require 2 such units. So it is slightly compact than the composting pits. Then the third technology is the composting tumblers. So these are made up of plastic, and there are again advantages and disadvantages. So advantages is that again it is portable and the waste is packed. That is, there is a lid on the top, so you can't see it. So that is one of the advantage, somewhat more aesthetic. Disadvantages is that it requires more area, because 2 units are suitable only for a family, 16 families. So even for 80 flats, you require 10 such units. So you can imagine the number of such units required. And then labor required is more. You have to turn it, and if you don't turn it properly because of the wet thing, the weight increases, and then it becomes difficult to turn it, and holes are lesser. So the chances of getting this process anaerobic are very high. And then once it gets anaerobic, it will generate foul smells and leachate. And another thing is it is made of a plastic. And so if you see life cycle analysis point of view, it is bad, because as you all know, after some time it will be discarded. And once it is discarded, as you all know, plastic takes 300-400 years to completely degenerate and decompose. So that LCA point of view, it is not good. So these are some of the pros and cons of the composting tumblers. Then the next unit is the technology is the organic waste converter. So these are machines, and for big societies, there are certain companies, who are commercially have made this available. So suppose there is a society of 300 flats, it will approximately generate 300 kg per day of wet waste, and the cost will be around 7.5 lakh rupees, and the area required will be around 300 square feet. Power required will be 2 units per day. Labor is also required. More persons are required, not one person, 2, 3 persons are required. And mechanical unit, which consumes electricity, is required. So any mechanical unit is there, means maintenance is there. It will not work 24/7 all the years. So that problem is always there. So you can see this particular OWC part of the machine, in which wet waste is crushed and it is grinded to powder, and then you have to cure it. This curing system is there, and then sprinkling system also the company provides. And after 10 days, this particular wet waste will be converted into a manure. So here again you require labor, you require larger area, etc. So that is about the OWC. Then there is another machine which is called as automatic continuous drum composter. So this is completely automatic. All other technologies we have seen, you require labor for transferring the compost from pits or cages or from that OWC into the curing, etc. Here you have to just put the waste and you will get the manure outside. So it is automatic. It requires 10 days, and it is a good fertilizer. Design and maintenance free, orderless, noiseless. Volume reduction, that is wet waste volume, is reduced by 70 to 75%. But you have to add sawdust and microbial culture along with the wet waste into the hopper, and then after 10 days you will get the manure. So this machine will look like this.
कौन क्या था?
Yeah, so like that, but of course it is costly than the other technologies. So these are the various technologies which are available. There is another technology of 24-hour machine also, but there are various representations that the compost which is generated out of them is really not compost. They are just converted their wet waste into some powder. They are literally burning it. So sometimes the pH is around 5, it is acidic, it doesn't conform to the FCO norms. So I'm not talking about that those machines indeed, but still some 7-star hotels, 5-star hotels, they just want to comply. They take such machines also. So before designing any system, you have to do the waste audit. For example, suppose this is a society, how it is achieved in one of the societies. One example we are giving, case study, you can say. The number of flats are 156. So typically after measurement, the dry waste is 50 kg per day, and wet waste is 150 kg per day. Domestic hazardous waste is 10 kilograms per day. So approximately 1.35 kg waste is generated per flat. So wet waste is composted, dry waste is recycled, and domestic hazardous waste is given to BMC for incineration. So then, on what basis the technology was selected? The technology was selected on the basis of it should be low cost, it should be easy to operate, and it should be sustainable. Engagement and economic development of waste pickers. We wanted to employ some people. Then it should be robust, no maintenance. So all these things, after considering, we felt that composting pits and shredder is the best choice. Shredder, because if you shred the wet waste, this thing is very fast composting action, and there is a lot of garden waste also. The quantity of garden waste is substantially reduced if you use shredder. So with this technology was used, and then these are the composting pits. So you have to do the training of housekeeping staff. These are the composting pits. 6 feet long, 4 feet wide, 2 feet deep. And jali is there so that rodents should not enter, other things should not enter. And for leachate should ideally not generate. And if it is generated, there should be some arrangement so that it can be taken out and quality of compost is not deteriorated. So if you maintain it nicely, people will come and see that so that they can adopt it at their housing societies also. BMC officers also come and see that. So after 2 months, you get a nice compost like this. So you can't imagine that it is your own compost. It is your own wet waste, which is converted into such a tea powder like compost. So a lot of operations are there, compost, which should be removed from that. It should be, dried. It should be shredded. It should be, sieving should be done. Then it gets converted into a final product like this. And you should get it tested by laboratories like RCF Chembur has one laboratory, whether all the parameters for fertilizer are confirmed or not. Then only you can use it as a fertilizer in agriculture. So that is about the wet waste. Then in case of dry waste, you should do it recycling. And BMC has separate arrangement for recycling of dry waste. So many complaints, sometimes we find that, our housing society, it keeps, all the dry waste and wet waste outside the gate. But when the BMC vehicle comes, they mix this waste together and then they take. Then what is the use of recycling? Segregation. So my dear friends, you have to take some more efforts and you have to find out the dry waste vehicle of the BMC. Okay. They have a lot of vehicles to collect the wet waste, but there are very limited vehicles to collect the dry waste. So you have to contact them and request them to collect your dry waste. Until that time, you should keep dry waste separately within your compound. Okay. And dry waste is as such, it will not stink. So you should not have any problem in the storage of dry waste. So the right person to contact is the proper assistant engineer or supervisor or ZEO, which visits your locality. So you contact him and find out when your dry waste vehicle will come. At present, there is some shortage and they will come only once in a week or twice in a week. And then you should give your dry waste only to the dry waste vehicle of the BMC. Then this problem should not be there. So, and of course, your domestic hazardous waste, as I told you, you should put a red cross and give to the BMC. So like that, you should handle your wet waste, dry waste, and domestic hazardous waste. When you come at this position, you are confident, then only you apply for property tax rebate with the BMC. Because once you get the property tax rebate, BMC will stop sending the wet waste vehicle, and then you will land up in a lot of problems if you are not doing these things properly. Because garden waste is always in big quantity. The garden waste also BMC will not take. So all the waste should be accommodated in your composting project. So when you apply to the BMC, then BMC will send an expert team. And then based on the recommendation of the expert committee team, BMC will award the rebate in property tax. So BMC is divided into 24 wards. So our ward, we are located in Lokhandwala complex or Andheri West area. It comes under the K West ward. So K West ward has awarded the property tax rebate to only 3 housing societies. So they will call these people, housing society people, and have a small function like this, and they will award this certificate. So here you can see Sharmila Malekar from Yari Road area. I think Parvez Bhai knows her. So her society is awarded this certificate. You can see the Assistant Municipal Commissioner, Mr. Vishwas Mote, also here. So only 3 housing societies in entire K West ward, they are awarded this type of certificate. Now, once the certificate is awarded, it doesn't mean that you automatically start getting the property tax rebate. Then the next stage is that you have to be with BMC, you have to pursue with BMC and ask them to issue a letter, because this is just certificate. This is just for frame and all that. You will not get the rebate from that. So BMC should issue a letter and with proper copy of that should be sent to the revenue department people. And then your property tax number of your housing society will be mentioned on that. So once you get this letter, then the rebate process will start. Then there are certain points which are worthwhile while discussing in the rebate process of BMC. Rebate in property tax by BMC. Rebate is on the general component of the property tax. So when the property tax comes, there are various components. So this 15% or 5% is there. It is only on the general component. Segregation of waste is mandatory. So there is no rebate for segregation. Then waste must be processed within the premises. For example, there are housing societies, they say that suppose we give our wet waste for some external agency, they will take outside and they will do composting outside. So for such housing societies, this rebate is not available. Okay, they will comply. Compliance problem, it is okay, but not for rebate purpose. Then how this 15% rebate is divided in various categories. So 5% rebate is for dry waste recycling. So for that, you should prepare a proper record of each category of waste. So how out of that dry waste, how much is paper waste, how much is metal waste, how much is the plastic bags, how much is the PET bottles, all that weights you should maintain, and how much revenue you are generating, and which is the agency which you are giving to recycling. So all that data you have to submit to the BMC every month. Then only you will get this 5% rebate for dry waste recycling. Then 5% rebate for composting of wet waste. So in this case, you have to compost within the premises. So BMC vehicle will stop coming to your premises. And then, as I told you, this you can generate compost. Again, here you have to keep a proper record of wet waste, how much wet waste you are composting every day, how much compost is generated, what you are doing with that compost, etc. So that is about the 10% for the solid waste. Remaining 5%, out of that remaining 5%, 2.5% is for rainwater harvesting. So the other day, Subhajit Mukherjee has given a nice lecture on rainwater harvesting. So he told about two things. One is recharge of groundwater, and another is you can store it in some RCC tank and use it for flushing. So suppose you are using the entire water for recharge of groundwater, you will not get any rebate. So what you have to do is you have to store this harvested rainwater in a RCC tank and then use it for flushing. So what BMC wants is that their water consumption is reduced, because nowadays people are using the treated water of BMC for flushing, which is wastage, criminal wastage, I will say. So this must be stopped, and there the harvested rainwater should be used. Then if you are doing this, you will get additional 2.5% rebate. And the last 2.5% is for recycling of treated wastewater, like the wastewater which is generated in our kitchens, bathrooms, toilets. If you are treating it and the treated wastewater you are using it for flushing, you will get additional 2.5%. So in the last lecture on 23rd April, Yogen Bhai told about the various technologies which are available for wastewater treatment. So I will not spend time on that. So using all that, your target should be to achieve 15% rebate in property tax. So our DG and Rajendra Agarwal is very much ambitious that you should convert these societies into zero waste societies. And our target is that we will convert at least one housing society per Rotary Club like this. And that should be given certificate by BMC as well as by Rotary. So that is our Swachh Avenue target. Then how this property tax rebate is calculated. So I will show by one example. So you will get an idea. See, each housing society will be having one property card, and there is one SAC number of that property. So suppose that for that SAC number, the property tax is 10 lakh rupees. Okay. So out of that 10 lakh rupees, general component is around 31.5%. So that is 3,15,000 rupees will be general component. So the property tax rebate of 15% is of this general component. Okay. So 5% rebate for composting will be rupees 15,750. 5% rebate for recycling of dry waste will be 15,750. 2.5% rebate for rainwater harvesting will be 7,875. And 2.5% for wastewater treatment will be rupees 7,875. So for this 10 lakh property tax, you will get around 50,000 rupees, 47,000 to 250 rupees property tax. So you should not do calculations and check whether it is worthwhile the investment and all that. Remember, you are doing this because it is mandatory as per the compliance rules of BMC. So you should take this rebate as a bonus, not like it is in this is the investment and this is the returns. Otherwise, if the people were getting good returns, all the housing societies by this time might have converted into, they might have done their wet waste composting and they sold their manure and recovered their investment. It is not like that. You are doing this because you are following the rules of the land. So that is about my presentation on solid waste management in residential complexes. So I am within my time limit of 30 minutes. So now next 10 minutes are there for question answer session. Thank you very much.
So, Milind, this is Satish Rajadeksha from Rotary Club of Shivaji Park. The
Yes.
success of any waste management lies in reducing the waste, reusing the same, and recycling the same. These are the 3 R's which generally govern this kind of syndrome. Now, the societies which are existing in Mumbai, generally they have got flats which are generally in the region of 70 to 80 numbers in a society, unless they are really big complexes, which we see in the suburban part of Mumbai. Now, as you have very correctly stated, the bins, composting bins or composting cages, they will ultimately what happens? They will secure that manure, and then that manure will be converted by shredding into plastic bags, nicely packed and kept. Now, where they are going to be used? Now, I do not think that many societies in Mumbai have got their own gardens. So the question of their being used in their own gardens doesn't arise. So under these circumstances, where that manure goes, because that becomes an additional requirement, because at some point of time, you have to dispose of that manure. Because the size of those imposting in those bins, as you have explained, 6 feet by 4 feet by 2 feet in 2 bins, the size and the volume of the manure which gets generated is quite phenomenal. So we just can't keep it in the, so unless it is used in the garden of a society, which seldom happens. So under these circumstances, what are your thoughts? How to go about?
Yeah, so very good question, Rajadeksha ji. So what I'd like to add is that this process has started recently, just 2 years back, and government of Maharashtra, it is in the process of developing the scenario where this compost which is generated, Maharashtra government has started one brand called as Harit brand. And they expect that the compost will have certain quality, so that the farmers should take that product. No, when the farmers want to use it in their agriculture, that quality of the compost should conform to the FCO norms. So once your housing society produces manure and it conforms to the Harit brand, then Maharashtra government has developed supply chain by which they can take this particular manure and they will supply to the farmers. So they have developed one app also for that. So right now they are having this system for urban local bodies which are spread all over Maharashtra. See, Satiji, now the thing is that many people have gone next step because they already have their composting pits, like you are saying. In ULBs are having their windroses, and they are facing various problems. That is, their compost is not conforming to the norms, because in houses we use various things, and sometimes very toxic metals also start entering the manure. Sometimes the conductivity is not good. So like that, once this manure is of good quality, then definitely there is scope that quality and quantity both, because you know uh, that is the economics works. So if you generate sufficient quantity, then there are people who will give orders. For example, Vijayanagar Society in Andheri East, the quality of compost is so nice that they get orders from various farms and farming societies. But I agree with you that these various ends should be brought together, and we should bring this together and develop supply chain, so that where small housing societies also will not find it difficult to dispose their manure or compost, because there is demand, there is supply. So these two ends should meet. So there, the organizations like Rotary District 3141, they can play a very important role. There are gardens, there are nurseries, there are home gardens. My home garden, like Girish the other day was saying, all Rotarians themselves should first become the their own housing societies. They should have their composting plants. So at my level, I am segregating. I have my own basket in which I convert my own wet waste into manure, and it is used in the my garden, which is there in the balcony. So like that, I agree, some work is yet to be required to be done. So I hope I answered your question, Satish ji.
Yeah, good.
Thank you. Any other question, please?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes, Miraji.
Yeah. I want to know, uh, can can this composting take place in a basement area, or does it require the sun?
Yeah, so for example, if you have tumblers and all that, they can be very well accommodated in the basements. But if you have composting pits or composting cages, sometimes you need to dry this manure for 1 day or so. So that time it is better if you have some spare area where, due to sunlight, the manure can get dried. Or and you might have seen the last option where this drum was there along with some machine. So in that case, it can be very well connected in the basement, because after 10 days you are directly getting the output. There the machines are doing the work.
So is the BMC coordinating with the urban planning, whatever department that approves housing plans, that approves the plans for houses, to make sure that so much space is allotted for all these requirements? Because the problem is space in the existing housing societies. So,
Yeah.
but we have 420 flats. So you can imagine the amount of space we require. So in the new plans, is this becoming mandatory before giving approval?
Yes, it is mandatory for bigger housing societies to have composting arrangement as well as the rainwater harvesting arrangement. But I agree, there is no thorough checking regarding whether the arrangement which is provided by the housing societies is appropriate, technologically sound. uh, some solution, some architect gives some plan, and many times it is approved. Of course, it is the system is improving, because we have seen some housing societies in which they have provided something called as composting pits, but before our entry last 7 years, nothing was done in that, and it was located at such a height that you should use ladder to see that what is inside. So if it is so inconvenient, it will not be used. So that lacuna is there. So there should be some arrangement to check whether the solution provided is technologically sound and feasible. Yeah, I hope I answered your question, Miraji.
Yeah. I mean, we do have a long way to go to streamline, but as you
Yes,
said, it's improving.
but it is mandatory, because unless you will not get OC unless you have this composting arrangement.
I have
Milind,
a
can I?
question.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes,
Can I
yes,
come in?
Abneesh. Yeah, Abneesh.
See, last time when our DGN, Rajendra Agarwal ji, has mentioned to you that such project should be proposed to the other club. So what I like to request you, Milind, if you can make a project of 2 or 3 pages precisely and circulate among the clubs all over our district,
Yeah,
uh, so that will be a great job for you, because out of that, even 15 clubs take up this project very seriously. It will be very
exactly.
helpful. The problem is what? They don't know the know-how. They know something, but they don't know something. So it is very important that in Toto, if you submit a project
Yeah,
and just throw the email, because you have your email idea to every club, So you throw the idea, and also he approached to the DGN, Rajendra Agarwal. He is very much keen for this kind of project. Last time, as he mentioned, he was present there.
definitely. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
wish he could have been there today also, but
yeah,
somehow he is not there today. He said that he's busy.
yeah.
But anyway, you can do that. That's my
No,
proposal.
very good suggestion, Abniji.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that is the dream of our DGN Rajendra ji.
yes,
He wants to declare the housing societies as Swachh societies, in which they will generate zero waste. So
yes.
we are all there. Myself is there for solid waste management. Then Yogen Bhai is there for wastewater treatment. Subhajit Mukherjee is there for rainwater harvesting. So we'll prepare a proper technical proposal and submit it to the all presidents of Rotary Club. So at least one housing society per Rotary Club becomes Swachh society. There will be more than 100 societies like that. So that will
Yeah,
be a
very
really
good.
good contribution, and that one success story will be spread, and that's
Yes,
what our Swachh Avenue members are also there. I hope they are also agreeing with this particular proposals, and even our own members, like Girish says, even Rotarians, their own housing society should also try for becoming Swachh societies. Why not? We should at least explore, no?
yes, yes. Very
So
nice.
definitely we can do that.
Milanji,
Yes.
before putting a proposal to my society, I would like to learn the total procedure and the work involved. There many questions will crop up during an AGM meeting in my society. So I should be basically, learn the total procedure involved in that. What's the
Yeah.
work involved? How can I learn the total procedure?
Yeah. Avinash ji was speaking. Who was speaking?
This is Rajesh Gupta from RC Mulund.
Yeah, Rajesh ji. Yeah. So that's what was the purpose of my presentation today. So I discussed the, various technologies like composting pits, composting cages, or if you have good budget, you can go for even, automatic machine also. So the pros and cons are there. So why society rejects this composting projects or wet waste? Because there are three problems. First, they feel that there will be foul smells. Second, they feel that aesthetically it will not be good. And third, they will feel that they have to spend money for that. Okay, so we can take care of all these problems, and we can discuss which solution is appropriate for the particular society, which site is appropriate for the composting project, because we are guiding societies which are running these projects for more than 3 years now.
Okay.
And all these things should be, misconceptions can be removed, and there will be proper hand holding, and within housing society there should be a good team of dedicated 3-4 persons. Then the challenges can be overcome. If everybody feels that Shivaji should be born in the neighbor's house, then it will not work.
Okay.
3-4 people should be dedicated and willing to spend their time, and they should feel from the bottom of the heart that yes, this solid waste management is our responsibility. We must take care of our future generation. So like that, as Narayan Murthy was saying, in India we are particular about our own houses. Everything should be tip top and all that. But for common good, we are not that much dedicated. Outside, if there is some dirty thing is there, we are not that much sensitive about that. So like that, all the things come together, like practical, economical, philosophical, and then it works. Definitely it works. But one missionary should be there, like that.
Can we arrange some practical visit and all?
Yes, definitely. Why
Practical,
not?
yeah.
Why
Yeah.
not? And you are now in Swachh Avenue, so you will be part and parcel of the team which will
Yeah, I want to learn the process, then only I can come
motivate
forward
other
with some
people.
ideas.
Yes. So the way you are talking and the way you are committing, I feel half the work is done for your society.
Okay, that would be great. Thank you.
That is the requirement. Somebody should come from the bottom of his heart. That particular feeling I noticed. So
Okay.
I think half work is done here itself.
Okay. Chalo, let's see.
Yeah.
Let's
Okay.
see. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Milind, can I ask a question? Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Couple of observations, like when you said that there are various problems on housing societies trying to accept this concept of solid waste segregation and composting. One more problem is, as you said, Narayan Murthy said that we are looking after our own house and we are not bothered about outside. But when we are looking after our own house, the same people, they go on in the car on the road and they throw litter from the car. Same people. We, the same people who are looking after our houses, that our houses should be neat and clean, ourselves throw litter outside from our car, from our vehicles or whatever it is. So that is the problem of the attitude, you know.
Correct.
We say that we are very good in our house and we are not bothered about outside. But first of all, we are only creating the filth. The filth is created by us.
Correct.
We eat a peppermint, we eat a chocolate, and we throw the kachra outside. We don't keep in our car.
Very true.
Right? The person who's keeping in even if he's keeping in the car, then what he does is he is not taking that kachra into his house, or he's not throwing the kachra into the common garbage can lying in the society. What he does, he is giving the keys to the गाड़ी वाला, साफ करने वाला गाड़ी साफ करता है, सब कचरा नीचे जमीन पे डाल, उसको भी नहीं बता रहा है।
Awareness program. That is the you have to bring awareness.
मेरी गाड़ी से कचरा निकाल के मैं तुमको सैलरी दे रहा हूँ, मेरा गाड़ी साफ करो और उसमें से कचरा निकाल के गार्बेज कैन जो कॉमन सोसाइटी का पड़ा है उसमें डालो। वो भी हम नहीं करते। I'm talking about most of the people are doing like this. So it's a more of an attitudinal problem of the societies not accepting this concept. Now, one more reason is that all the societies as citizens of Bombay, we feel that it is the job of the municipality to look after our garbage.
Very true.
It is not my duty. My responsibility is a slogan created by Rotary first, and then the Rotary has copied that. I will tell you that. Okay, but still, nobody is doing that. Nobody is doing that. Even they are feeling that just like my shit, what I'm going to do in the toilet is cleared by municipality. Same thing, my kachra also should be cleared by municipality. I can throw the kachra anywhere I like. I will do whatever I like about the kachra.
Milinji,
Milinji,
can I come in? I'm Girish here.
Let me complete one second. One more point. When we talk about this problem of attitude, when we talk about this society's model projects, I think we discussed in our such committee meeting 2 projects. One, it's a Jew scheme where Sandhya Ulal has done a terrific project of composting in the society. It's a big society of about 100 flats. Similarly, Powai, the lady has done with composting beans. But I think there must be kgs. She's talking about beans, but that must be kgs. Now, those 2 Rotarians, we have to start somewhere with our own Rotarians.
Yes.
Wherever possible. In my society, it is not possible. So, because there are a lot of issues with the BMC, it is not working out. These 2 societies, the residents are our Rotarians, and they are the leaders in that project. I think they should be taken up as the model project first. Show them practical, their videos or whatever visit you can arrange. And then we talk about this technical paper or technological, whatever you are talking about, this paper to be circulated. But let's give them that this is possible. First, show them this is possible, people have done it. And now you can also do it. So I would suggest, as we discussed, these 2 projects should be circulated. These 2 societies.
Fully agree. As Rajesh ji was
it is already included in the action plan. I will include this with Rakhi today. So it will be part of the action plan. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. As Rajesh ji also is keen to see the live examples.
Yeah, it is there. 2 examples are there.
Sandhya ji's project will go and see, definitely. So yes, Girish. Thank you, Parvez bhai, for your inputs. Yeah.
Good evening all. Taking further Parvez bhai's point, I just wanted to ask you one question, which I have faced personally, practically in societies. That some members have habit of non-cooperating with the committee for any good work. Okay, in every society there are such black sheeps are there. Now, if suppose some member is not cooperating for segregation, and because of him or her, any process of waste management is getting hampered. Because even if 5-10 members are not cooperating in a society of 100 or 50, then the whole process gets hampered. Now, how do we tackle such kind of members? Even after repeatedly educating them, convincing them about the advantages, they just don't want to cooperate. They say that this is not my or our job. You do whatever you want. How do we tackle such situations? I mean, have you come
Yeah,
across in your, yeah, please.
yeah. See, as per solid waste management rules, 2016, it is mandatory to do segregation into dry and wet waste. So, in this case, urban local body, and in case of Mumbai, it is Municipal Corporation of Greater Mumbai is the authority which can take action. So, municipal corporation will take action on the society. So society in turn can inform the BMC that so and so flat number uh, is not cooperating, is not segregating, and then BMC can take legal action on the particular flat.
Are there any penal provisions?
Yes. Penal
Okay.
provisions are there because you must be remembering that many housing societies also got penalties from BMC.
Yes.
Some people have to go to the housing society chairman, secretary. They were dragged to the court because they were not segregating the waste, they were not composting the waste, and they were penalized for 2 lakh rupees, 1 lakh rupees, and then they started composting and all that. Because I am entrepreneur, I got many works like
Yeah.
that. So
Bulk generators, for the bulk generators.
For bulk generators,
Yeah.
for example, if you now BMC, how it monitors the bulk generator, they have a thumb rule, okay, how to calculate the 100 kg per society. So these 200-liter cans are there, no? So their thumb rule is that one can will weigh 60 kg. Okay. So if you are generating 2 cans, it means that you are generating more than 100 kg per day, and you will get notice from BMC. And then there was a ruling from High Court that you can't stop collecting waste because it will create health and hygiene issues for others. So then the BMC started taking legal action. That is, they collect, but they drag you to the court and they will penalize you. So that is a modus operandi which is used now. But of course, there are certain limitations because this is now just MSW rules. Okay. It is not still law which is enacted by Parliament. The rules are enacted by the executive officers. So yes, action can be taken, but not a court case, and like there are offenses and laws. Some punishments are there. So initially the government is thinking that first let us do awareness, teaching, and all that, and then we'll go to that stage where there will be law which will be enacted by the Parliament. I hope I answered your question, Girish.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, is there any question? We have already exceeded our time for question answer session by 15 minutes. Very good, but I like such interaction should take place, and we get very much clarity. So now, as per our next agenda, it is vote of thanks. So I request our charter president, Rotarian Abani Das ji, to present vote of thanks.
Yeah, Milind, it is always a pleasant duty to propose a vote of thanks for such a good topic. We are coming to end of this Swachh Bombay seminar series 3. That is, first part was Subhajit Mukherjee's the water harvesting, the part 1. That was a beautiful and excellent topic, and he has really spoke to everyone so nicely that everyone understood in a very nice way. The second was Yogesh Parekh. It is the wetland, and he wetland in the society, and he has done an excellent job on that. Now we are coming to the third part of this, that is yours, that is solid waste management in residential complex, which is very important.
We can't hear you. I
I
think.
mean, can you hear me?
Now we can hear you. Yes.
Yeah. We are always like, blaming, we are always blaming BMC and government. That's not sufficient. Every citizen has his duty to do something for this subject, because this is important for everyone, every walks of life, because if you don't know how to, do the management of the solid waste in the residential complex, it is going to be a big problem for our society. Anyway, this seminar is a very successful. For last three part, it is divided, and all credit goes to our Dr. Milind Kulkarni, the president of Rotary Club of Bombay Green City. He has done an excellent program. Also, I thank the Subhajit Mukherjee and Yogesh Parekh. They also done very good job for this seminar. Coming back to this thing, our last time when governor was present, our DGN, Rajendra Agarwal, he was encouraged this. So I propose our club, Rotary Club of Bombay Green City, should take up this in a very serious way and propose and be in touch with our DGN Rajendra Agarwal, and we should propose, we should insist him that he should take this kind of, he's already, we don't have to insist, but he is in a too many things, so unless we go and approach him, regular basis, it will be not possible. So I think I request Milind to take this subject in a very seriously. And coming back to the, there's a beautiful program of last 3 series of this Swasth Bombay seminar. I think we are very successful, and I must say that once again I propose a hearty thanks to our president, Dr. Milind Kulkarni, because his effort and his hard work has given a successful of this seminar. However, I cannot forget the co-host of our this seminar, because they are very important. Today's the co-hosters are RC Rising Star, RC M Jewels, RC M Varsova, RC Chandibuli Bombay, RC M Shobo, RC M Palishar, RC Bombay Kandibuli, RC Mulund East, RC Bombay Marvels, RC Bombay Solicity, RC Virar, RC Bombay Royals, RC Ivory, RC Bombay Malabar Hill, RC Bombay Bikasi, RC Shivaji Park, RC Borivali East. I think, Milind, you've done an excellent job to getting all these 18 clubs roped in for this beautiful program. I also, end of this day, I thanks all the participants. Only I get disheartened because I see the participants only remain now at the 12. But I wish some more people would have been there till end to listen all this and sort of concluding session of our seminar. So it's an excellent job, Milind. Thanks a lot. On behalf of our club, we are proposing a thanks to each and everyone who has attended this seminar. Thank you so much.
So lovely, Abniji. You put up a nice vote of thanks, and you covered all the things which were, some of the things were missed by me, and that is the role of charter president. So thanks a lot, Abniji.
Thank you so much
for the excellent vote of thanks. And you covered all the 3 sessions, and take a proper review of the entire Swachh Mumbai seminar series, and you acknowledged all the co-host Rotary clubs, who single-handedly supported this particular event. and our DG Sunil Mehra also, who immediately gave his approval to have this event as a district event. So this is the event of actually
that's very nice. Very
Rotary
nice.
District 314 event, 41 event, and we are the like Rotary Club of Mumbai Green City is the lead club, lead host club, and I thank all the members of Rotary Club of Mumbai Green City, Dakshaji, secretary, and all the members, Parvez Bhai, Miraji, Amit Bhai. Ajay is not there today, but they all participated and supported at various stages of these seminars, and all our guests. To make this Swachh Mumbai seminar series, which is our blue chip program, I will say. Last 3-4 years we are organizing, and initially we tried to have it physical, but later on we came to know that it is not possible, and we have selected those avenues like rainwater harvesting, then wastewater treatment, and solid waste management, for which BMC has given property tax. So one step is already taken by BMC. So we want to do the role of awareness and spread this message of BMC across all the nooks and corners of Bombay, of Mumbai, with our Rotary District 3141. That is our dream, and I hope this dream will come true in dream year. And our dream president Dakshaji will also support in this particular mission. I am confident of that. So now I request Dakshaji to present her secretarial announcements.
Thank you, Milan. May is a wonderful month for our club. So many members are celebrating either their birthdays or anniversary. So I start with birthdays first. 14th May is Varsha celebrating her birthday. 15th May is Aparna Dayal, spouse of Alok Dayal. 20th May is Radha Sinha. 26th May is Dr. Deepak Katawala. And 28th May is Pinita Gupta. These are so many members on birthdays. Now for the anniversary. 11th May, anniversary of Alkesh Bhai and Daksha Parajya. 16th May, anniversary of Parvez Bhai and Minaz Merchant. And 24th May, Amit and Avnika celebrating their anniversary. Heartiest congratulations to all for their birthdays and anniversary. And now the question is, what's the puzzle?
Puzzle is replied already.
क्या था? I missed it.
आपका था ना कुछ क्वेश्चन था क्या चेंज हो गया बैनर के अंदर